Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Monday. It's hard to believe, September 28th, as we head into the last 3 days of September, and the 1st of October. So glad you're with us today. I hope you had a great weekend as we kick off the week. As we wind down not only the month, but the quarter, there's really not a lot of earnings going to be coming in today, but we do have some big numbers coming in on Wednesday. Dave and I will talk about those and more. Hey, as we look to the futures kicking up a little bit this morning, I hope that you have been listening and have made changes to your portfolio to make sure you don't have too much risk. I hope your financial advisor has done that for you and walked you through that process. If not, please give me a call. 863-382-0037, and let's do a financial x-ray to determine how much risk you have in your portfolio. Hey, hang tight. Next up, we'll talk to Dave.
7 live here. Really cold there. Good morning. 8:37 now. It's 75 degrees. We'll see the upper 80s today. There's a 75% chance of rain today. So we got the muggies for today, muggies for tomorrow, and by Wednesday, you're going to wonder if you've changed latitudes because we're going to get down to close to 60 in the morning for the last few days of the week. Nice change. Everything is cool, right? Yeah. Well, things are heating up a little bit on the markets this morning, and that's a nice thought after a couple of rough weeks. Let's find out what's going on with your money this morning. Downtown Sebring, we go to the offices of Statler Financial Services, where Phillip Statler is standing by. And boy, did we have a turn starting on Friday morning, Phillip. Things started going up, and it was kind of gradual all the way through the day, wasn't it?
It was. It was nice to see after the last, almost 4 weeks of looking at kind of negative weekly returns. And last week was no different. We still had losses pretty much, except for I think the Dow was up 1%. But everything else still down. But it started the trend that is continuing today, moving in the green and moving up. So we're excited about that.
After a couple, 3 herky-jerky weeks in there, it's nice to see green ink. You did a little calculation that I didn't see. You said the S&P got almost all the way down to a 10% correction level, and if that kind of follows the pattern when NASDAQ hit 10% a couple of weeks ago, that kind of provided a bounce back all of a sudden. Those computer programs really do make a quick change, don't they?
Well, they can, and that is true. And so the S&P 500 was down 10%, not as a closing value, but it did get down 10% intraday trading. And so that adds to it. And I saw some statistics that said basically only 25% of the stock S&P 500 was actually above their 50-day daily average trending. So that's also kind of another key thing that we look at. The NASDAQ's been down as much as almost 14% over the last 4 weeks. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple weeks, Dave.
That's for darn sure. It's been bordering on a bloodbath for people that worry about day-to-day numbers, which you and I have always advised against. Friday's close, just to set the table for the morning. Dow ended up Friday up 359 points. NASDAQ ended up 241. It's not as big a number, but it was a 2.26% increase on Friday. Standard & Poor's up by a little over 1.5%, up 52 points. You'd almost think happy days were here again because the trends continued over the weekend, and we've got some pretty good green numbers this morning early on. Up comes the flies in the ointment. One of the big COVID-19 vaccine trials, they halted trading on Inovio stock earlier this morning because the FDA raised one eyebrow and said, those phase 2 tests you're doing, put them on hold for a little while. We got questions. That's not exactly what we wanted to hear, is it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, we're hoping that every day we get a little closer to that vaccine. So, yeah, that's a little disheartening, maybe even to the general public.
Absolutely. The Pfizer one, on the other hand, they're showing nothing but hearts and flowers over. Keep in mind there's half a dozen different big pharmaceutical companies that are working on vaccines, but Inovio hit a little bit of a bump on the same week in which, and we kind of have to make observation of this fact because it's going to be the top of the hour news in a day or so. This week, sometime, it's almost a lead pipe cinch that we're going to cross 1 million worldwide COVID-19 deaths, which if you're one of those folks that have been blowing it off as being a nothing burger, well, that ought to make you sit up and take some notice anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a big number to have to take in, and that's worldwide, right? So that's the whole world. Though it's still a big number to kind of comprehend.
Absolutely, and that kind of is contributed to by the fact that they appear to be getting another hot spot going over in Europe as the second wave appears to begin over there, and we seem to be able to learn a little bit from history. We watched them bump up and then bump down. We went through that bump up and bump down. I hope we don't follow their lead on the second wave.
Well, yeah, especially now that here in Florida, at least, we're in phase 3 and everything's, quote, almost back to normal. So, that's going to be interesting to see, 2-3 weeks from now, what our numbers look like.
And somebody on one of the Facebook pages commenting on it said, yeah, let's just wait in 3 weeks, 4 weeks and see what it looks like. And my response was, yep, and it's all going to be on us. If we respond responsibly to the phase 3 opening, it'll look good. And the credit or the blame is going to be shared between the governor, either opening us too soon or right on time, and us for responding properly as well. If we go crazy and start scrumming in the bars, we'll kind of deserve what we get.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not, it's not mask free zone. It's not, no longer social distancing. All those things still apply. And it'll be interesting to see if people actually adhere to those things.
Yeah, understood. Hey, one other news item that you had last week that caught my eye because a news item came up involving a bunch of banks around the world are getting raised eyebrows from regulators about messing around and manipulating funds and interest rates. And HSBC, if I remember, was one of them. China announced one of their big entities that government controlled over there, like everything is pouring a whole pile of money into HSBC to prop that bank up. I wonder if that's going to be a trend for the other big ones.
Well, it's going to be interesting because really, and I haven't seen anything about that part of it because what I saw was actually where they were taking in almost like money laundering for people. And so truly illegal. Obviously, manipulating markets is no less illegal than that. But still, that's not good for the markets either. And the banks have suffered here the last week or two.
Understood. Yeah, China suddenly coming to the rescue of one of the ones involved in that news story is, well, let's just say semi-interesting at the very least. Suddenly the Chinese start buying into the international banking community. We start getting into some interesting thoughts.
Yeah, that's true because they usually don't bail anybody out.
That's true. Generally, the rise that we're seeing this morning, are we still seeing just optimism and bounce off of the potential correction, or do you think there's anything that's going to be affecting the markets this week that we're anticipating?
So if I look at this week, Wednesday is a big day for us, Dave, on economic numbers. Especially when we look at the final read of the GDP. So that one's going to be interesting to me. And we also have exports coming in, and imports coming in. So those three things to me could make Wednesday a big day.
Understood. If I remember correctly, I'm foggy on a Monday morning. I think the first two reads on the gross domestic product numbers have been pretty much within lines of what the market expected. So no major surprises expected on Wednesday.
Well, that's true. No major surprises expected. It would be nice if it would actually, get a little bit better than what it was the last time, because that's what happened, right? The first one was such. The second one actually was a little bit better. It'd be nice if the third one came in just a little bit better.
We could honestly use some good news to prop up the green ink we're seeing this morning, because I'm even seeing green ink on the foreign markets this morning, which is kind of nice to see the whole world turning green. Again, it was a big up day on Friday, kind of a quiet start to a Monday. Very few releases we've got as far as earnings right before the market opens up. We'll get busier as time goes on because we're going to start seeing some more activity on that. 45 minutes before we open up after a green week last week. Phillip, how are we looking today?
We are looking beautiful today, Dave. It is pretty much a green across everything I'm looking at today. We got the S&P 500 up almost 1.5. We got the Dow 30 up almost 1.5, and we've got the NASDAQ up a little over 1.75%. So everything's rosy on that side of the coin. Flipping over to the commodity side, same thing, not as good, but still it's all green. We got silver up about 1/3%, gold's up 1/4%, and then we've got crude oil up 0.5% to $40.47 a barrel.
At least it's up over 40. That's a beginning. Even interest rates are trending upward a little bit on the bond rates, which means we're spending a little bit more money in the equity market at the moment. World markets, green ink across the board again. Asian rim markets were all up over 1%. British and German markets also. Actually, Germany is skyrocketing this morning midway through their day. They're up by about 3%. Something big is going on over there.
That's good.
Absolutely. Phillip, somebody needs advice as far as where the risk is in the market. The last 4 weeks has been on the downside. Today it looks good, but heaven knows how long it's going to last. That takes an expert advice to find out where the risk is in my retirement portfolio. How do I find that?
Devin, give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule a financial x-ray to do just that. Figure out how much risk they have and make sure it lines up with their risk number. Hey, they can follow us on Facebook. All they have to do is search under Statler Financial Services, like our page there, and then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on Highlands News Talk 730.
And because we're into Gator football season, Saturday noon sometimes won't be there, but we always make sure we get plenty of backup time, 6 o'clock on Saturday morning and 10 o'clock on Sundays.
All right, man, you have a great day and a great start of the week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Enjoy, my friend. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler. Wait.
Hey, everybody, again, welcome to Monday. I hope that your week is off to a great start. And remember, if you're not sure how much risk you have in your portfolio, please don't delay. Give us a call, 863-382-0037 to schedule your financial x-ray. Or you can go to my website, statlerfinancial.com. Under the schedule a meeting tab, you can schedule a phone call, schedule an actual appointment. Up to you, your calendar. A great opportunity. I look forward to meeting you soon. Bye now.